And we are back with a brand new episode of Valholla Radio. I'm your host, Vince, and we have a great show for you today. I want to thank everybody that tuned in last week. And again, like I mentioned, I'm going to bring this show to you guys, including brand new music videos. I'm still working out what day should be every week, but we're going to figure it out. But with that being said, I'm your host, Vince. Let's get into it. For our first story, Spotify has made a major move to combat AI slop on their platform and announced new rules when it comes to AI. So here's the update. Spotify announced it removed over 75 million so-called spammy tracks in the past year. Some of those were AI generated. Others were low effort uploads meant to game the system. Basically, people were flooding the platform with duplicate songs, SEO hacks, and even artificially short tracks just to collect streams and siphon money out of the royalty pool. So now Spotify isn't banning AI completely, but they're saying if you're using AI responsibly, cool, go for it. But if you're impersonating artists, cloning voices without permission, or running content farms, you're out. They've also announced 3 big policy updates that include a strong spam filter. It flags mass uploads, duplicates, and slop content, so you won't get it recommended to you if these are one of those tracks. Secondly, tighter impersonation rules, so no AI voice clones or uploading music to the wrong artist page. This has been a huge problem for artists, and now Spotify is actually investing more resources to stop it. And lastly, AI disclosures with AI standard credits. So if you've used AI in your production, whether it's for vocals, beats, or mixing, you'll be able to disclose it clearly in Spotify's credits using the new DDEX system. Now, what I personally like about this is that it creates some transparency and accountability. Listeners will know when AI was used, and artists won't have to worry about being penalized for experimenting with new tech. And the majors, Universal and Warner, are both backing this. So that's rare. And when the biggest rights holders and the biggest platform are aligned, that usually means things are about to change really fast. The bottom line, Spotify knows AI isn't going away. But if you let fraud and spam run wild, you risk killing trust in the platform and draining money from the very artists that make streaming valuable. So this is a step forward. Is it enough? Maybe. But it feels like the first real attempt to set boundaries in this new AI era of music. Now, this next story is dedicated to the DJs because Spotify has officially integrated with Serato DJ Pro and DJ Lite. Yep. Finally, the full Spotify catalog, over 100 million tracks, is now accessible directly inside Serato. So what does this mean for DJs? Well, if you've got a Spotify premium account, you can link it to Serato and suddenly have your library include your playlist, like songs, and the entire Spotify catalog. You can stream and mix tracks in real time and up to 4 decks simultaneously straight from the Serato. So no more juggling files, downloads, or separate libraries. Everything is in one place. Serato calls this the most requested feature in their 26-year history, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. DJs have been asking for seamless integration with streaming services for years. Apple Music made similar moves earlier this year, and there's a growing trend of platforms like Hook and Mash App giving users tools to mash up, speed up, slow down, or remix tracks directly from their library. Spotify's integration also ties into Mix with Spotify, which they launched recently. Now that allows any user, not just pros, to blend songs within a playlist just like a DJ with echo, EQ, volume, automation, and filters. So the line between casual streaming and professional DJing is about to get blurrier. Now, this is huge for both the DJ community and the artists because DJs can now pull from the entire Spotify catalog, which could mean more exposure for tracks that might not hit traditional radio or club rotation. So for artists, that's a whole new way to get discovered. Your song could end up on a live set being streamed to thousands, all without leaving the platform. If there's any DJs watching this, please let me know if you're going to be using Spotify with Serato. You may remember me covering the lawsuit between Sony and the major labels, but I wanted to give y'all an update because there's a new update. They've added some new accusations, including scraping and pirating songs directly from YouTube. So the major labels, which is the big three, Universal, Warner, and Sony, they filed an amended lawsuit against Sono. They claim Sono has been using a method called stream ripping to download songs en masse from YouTube, basically bypassing YouTube's encryption just to feed its AI training models. The label cite a recent Billboard investigation that exposed private data sets showing Sono and another AI company, Udio, scraping music at a massive scale. The proposed lawsuit is now looking for the maximum of $2,500 per act of piracy, which could quickly add up given the volume of tracks involved. The RIAA also weighed in, calling Suno's behavior a game of deception and highlighting how secretive the company has been about where its training music comes from. Sono hasn't publicly responded yet, and interestingly, the labels haven't added a piracy claim against Udio yet. This comes on the heels of Anthropic $1.5 billion settlement over AI-trained books. Essentially, the labels are saying if AI can get sued for pirated text, why not pirated music? Now, here's the crazy part. AI companies like Sony and Udio argue that training on copyrighted material is transformative and falls under fair use. That's the big question courts across the country are wrestling with right now. When does AI training cross the line from legal innovation to outright infringement? As you know, the stakes are huge with this, because if labels win, it could reshape how AI music is developed from the training stage to distribution and potentially set a precedent for the entire industry. And for artists, it's more about money. It's about control over their creative work in a world where AI can replicate it in seconds. Now, I'm going to keep you posted on how this develops, but I could tell you that this is probably going to get settled. It's going to get settled, and it's a possibility that labels will end up owning a minority stake in all of these AI companies that are doing music, and that'll be the exchange for getting the data and so forth from these catalogs and so forth. So I think that's in the future. I think this is gonna settle, and it's gonna end up being a situation where the labels are just gonna own a piece of the AI companies. But tell me what you think. I could be wrong. So tell me what you think. Now, today I wanted to highlight one of the most trailblazing executives in music history, Sylvia Rhone. She recently stepped down as chairwoman and CEO of Epic Records, but I want to paint a picture for you so I can kind of show you how legendary she is if you don't know. Sylvia was one of the first black women to chair a major record label, and over a 5-decade career, she's consistently shattered glass ceilings from Atlantic to Elektra, Motown, and now Epic. At Epic alone, she guided chart-topping artists like Future, Travis Scott, 21 Savage, Tyler, and so many more. Also, under her leadership, Epic's market share climbed, hitting 2.59% in 2024, and the label scored multiple Billboard 200 number ones. So for anyone in the music business, from artists to label executives, Rhone's career is a masterclass in resilience and innovation and influence. From pioneering hip-hop promotion in the 80s to steering multi-genre artists today, she's left a blueprint on how to combine creative strategy with a real business sense. So she is a legend, and I'm excited to see what she does next. Thanks to her for inspiring so many music executives, me included. All right, so I wanted to give you all another quick update, I should say, on TikTok and the TikTok US acquisition that's happening at the moment. So TikTok's US operations are set to be transferred to a new joint venture of American non-Chinese investors. While this deal is still in progress, the changes could impact how songs go viral on the platform. So here is what we know. TikTok's new U.S. venture will include companies like Oracle, Silver Lake, MGX, ByteDance. The company behind TikTok will retain a minority stake just under 20% and continue to license its recommendation algorithm to the new venture. This means Oracle will be retraining the TikTok algorithm based off of US-based user data, creating a system separate from TikTok's global network. While the platform is going to continue to highlight trending music and videos, some analysts are cautioning that the smaller data set could change the way trends emerge, potentially affecting the reach of non-US artists in the American market. Financially, the U.S. venture is valued around $14 billion, which is below previous market estimates, likely because ByteDance still maintains a stake and receives licensing fees for its algorithm. The TikTok algorithm, which powers music virality and discovery, will now be run on a secure cloud in the U.S., giving the platform a unique setup that hasn't been tried before in social media. So for music creators and industry professionals, the key takeaway is this. TikTok remains a critical platform for breaking songs, but the US version could behave a little differently from the global app. Artists, labels, and promoters may need to rethink strategies to maximize reach in this evolving landscape. These changes makes a lot of sense because that means that there could be a complete overhaul on how people go viral on the platform. So this is something that I know marketers are waiting to see how this is going to change things. So let's keep an eye on it. I will keep you posted. I'll let you know when there's updates on the TikTok acquisition. So we have reached the end of the show. I know it was a short, it feels like a shorter show than last week, but that's fine. That's cool. That means that you get to the music video. So stay tuned for the music videos that come on after this segment. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching Valholla Now Radio. Let me know if there's any music videos I missed this week, and I will add them to the following week. So with that being said, I hope you have an amazing one. Let's get it. Valholla Now Radio. Peace.